What's happening, peoples? Welcome to the Armchair Pundits Arsenal post-match review show with me, Bevan. And today, I am happy. Today, we're going to talk about Arsenal, Chelsea. Now, I was told in my last post-match, I wasn't showing too much emotion because we beat Spurs. But if I'm honest, it was kind of expected to beat them. So, you can't really get too gassed about beating a team that's fighting relegation. But anyway, today we're going to talk about Chelsea. So, today's game, as I said, is Arsenal 2, Chelsea 1. And it was a interesting kind of game. I think in the beginning of the game, Arsenal more on top. I think that Saka was having a good battle with Hato and he was kind of getting the better of him. There was chances where if we just made the right pass, we would have been in, and we didn't. What happens? Set piece again, ole. We get a corner, gets swung in. Gabriel gets a one-on-one with Reece James. He beats Reece James to the ball. Beats Reece James because Reece James isn't looking at the ball. He's looking at Gabriel. Gabriel's too strong for him. Gets the run on him. Jumps over gets over the top of Pedro. Knows it across. Saliba puts it in the back of the net, and we are 1-0 up. 20 minutes to go, or 20 minutes into the game. But then Chelsea start getting into the game and they're looking threatening. Reece James whips a couple of balls into the box. One where it misses João Pedro, and I believe it was Cole Palmer at the back stick. And we're nearing to half time. And for me, it looked like Chelsea were getting on top and we just needed half time to come. But Chelsea get a corner that gets whipped in by Reece James. There's a lot of tussling in the box. And the ball comes off of Declan Rice's elbow as he's going for a header. Some people are saying it's a penalty. Personally, I don't think it is. He's going for the ball. Yeah, he's kind of wrestling a little bit with, is it Caicedo? Might be Caicedo he's wrestling with. But there's a lot of wrestling going on in the box at that time. And I think that what they said is that because they were both tussling for the ball, when he's going to head it, it's a natural movement. And I think we've seen those last season in a similar kind of scenario. So if those aren't penalties, then we're not giving penalties for that either. I know that some people might think that the wrestling with him and Caicedo was a penalty, but you can see, well, if you look, you'll see that David Raya, before he makes the save, he is being held back by Sarr. So if you're going to give a penalty for that, you may have to give a free kick for the hold on Raya, and everybody's holding. So what one are we giving? We just giving one for the penalty, or we're giving the one for Sarr and holding back Raya? There's a lot of tussling going on. We just got to kind of work it out. I know that it seems to be a theme where it seems to be happening a lot in these kind of games where players are kind of not looking at the ball. There's a lot of jostling going on. There's a lot of wrestling going on, and people don't seem to like it. But it seems to be called out when Arsenal are playing, and it seems that Arsenal are ruining the game because they're the ones not getting bullied by the jostling. Now, I remember a couple of seasons ago where Arsenal were playing Aston Villa at home, and Aston Villa score from a direct free kick. And at the time, Ramsdale was in goal, and he's been held by a Aston Villa player, and he's been told that we need to be stronger. So we're the ones that are bullying teams and not getting roughed up like we used to in the past. It's a problem. And I just think, you know what? We've shown that before in the past. We've been told we've got a soft underbelly. We've been told that the team's got no kahunas. They can be rattled and stuff like that. And now we're not allowing teams to do that. We're bullying teams as much. We're giving as good as we're getting. And that's just the nature of the beast. But yeah, we get back to this. So they get another corner. This one gets swung in, and Hincapié gets a flick on, and they go in 1-1 at half time. So when it comes out into the second half, I think that like we started a bit slow. I think that Chelsea were on top for the first 15 minutes of that second half, and you could see that like there was a bit of nerves. I think the crowd were getting nerves, and I think some of the players are getting nerves. But then we get another corner. Now from this corner, again, there's a lot of jostling going on, but it's just part and parcel, man. You're gonna have to either they're gonna change the rules, or we're gonna have to adapt like we've done, and other teams are gonna have to adapt because, as I said before, we're not the only team that are doing this. Everybody's doing this. It seems that because we are good at doing it, that now it's a problem. But the corner comes in, Timber gets his head on it. They are screaming that there's a foul, so much so that Neto is complaining so much that he gets a yellow card. Now, that comes back to bite him because about 5 minutes later, he's on a one-on-one battle with Martinelli. Martinelli slows down, then speeds up, gets past him. He doesn't want to go in for the foot race, and then he wipes him out. Now, the interesting thing about that is that Martinelli's he's got back up and he's gone through, but the referee stopped it. Now, I understand that he stopped it to give a second yellow card, but when you look at it, that happened a few times before that, where there might have been a foul. There was a time where I think it's twice where Raya's come to give the ball out. There was a foul on Saka, and as Raya's given the ball out, we would have been like 2-on-3. I think Timber might have been, even if the right pass had been made, would have been through on goal. But the referee calls it back to give a free kick and the booking. So this it happened a few times where it's kind of stopped our attack. Now, in this instance, they get a yellow card, and yeah, that second yellow, Pedro Neto's off. We're 2-1 up, and I feel like there was another moment of nerves kicking in because as we go 2-1 up, it seems that Chelsea are the ones that are kind of having more possession of the ball. They're having more control. They're in the game a bit more than us. And it seems that nerves are setting in again. And Raya has to save us again. Garnacho whips across in. Raya has to keep his wits about him, know what's going on, just in case someone's going to touch the ball. And luckily enough, nobody does. Raya gets down and makes a save. And we're still in the lead. And in that game, that's the third time he's had to save us because earlier on, there was a corner that João Pedro gets a header on. And if he heads it, I'd say if he heads it back the way it came, or even to just into the near corner, then he's scored a goal, and it's 2-2. But Raya's managed to get there and make a brilliant save, and to keep us in the game. And I've said this before on my post matches that Raya can save us points, or he can make mistakes, have a lapse in concentration, and something can go wrong and concede goals. But this week again, he saved us points because he's made 3 brilliant saves in that game to either stop it from going to 1-1 or to stop it from going to 2-2, and he's kept us in the game. He's not even kept us in the game, he's kept us winning, which is important because he's saving us points. And this is what we need at this point of the season. We need to save points. We need to keep the momentum going. And yeah, it was ugly at times, but we had to fight. And we've been accused in the past of not being able to have that fight, but we're showing that we can do that. I don't know how much this is going to change for the rest of the season. And I said that, like, I will take 1-0 from now to the end of the season. Preferably, I prefer to like have games that are a bit more comfortable than that. But as long as we're getting over the line and we are putting in the right performances, then we can be on the way to winning this league, which is what we really need to do. Now, you can see that there were moments in that game where there was moments of nerves, because in the first half, there were moments where players were slipping over. There was a moment where Zubimendi played the ball back to Raya in a very difficult position, and Raya's had to clear it out. There's one where Declan Rice has made a recovery run, won the ball back, but then misplayed his pass and it's gone out for a corner. The corners in that game were important. You know, you're worried because of the fact that they've actually scored from a corner, and it looked like that's what was going to cause problems. So you want to kind of alleviate those problems. You don't really want to have those pressure moments. But this is the part of the season where we're getting to the business end. We've got, 9 games left? And we need to keep up momentum and kind of eliminate the mistakes that we are having, and take control in games a little bit more, because there were elements in the first half and the second half where the game was getting away from us. And if it wasn't for our set piece prowess, it could have been a very different game, because I don't really remember too many chances that we had from open play. I mean, yeah, there's a chance that Eze has where he's seen Sanchez off his line, but I don't think that was going in. Eze does have another chance in the second half where Sanchez has to make a brilliant save. But, there wasn't a lot from open play and clear-cut chances that we did have to put the game to bed. I mean, we did have 2 big chances, and both of those were from the corners, and we scored from both of them. So we did take the chances that we did have. And we're scoring from corners, but corners are part of the game. So, if they stop you from being able to score from corners, or they take it away that you can't, which they're never going to do, then just to accept it. It's a part of our Arsenal. Yeah, I said that, and it's just something that it's another element for us scoring goals. It's another tool that we have in our box, and we're using them. So long may it continue. Long may we keep scoring goals. May we keep winning ugly games, winning in battles. Yeah, you want to see some beautiful performances, but it can't always be like that when you're trying to get to this part of the season where the games are just coming thick and fast. We're still in 4 competitions, so we're battling on all fronts. So it's not always going to be where you're going to be able to raise the level every single time that you're playing. So Arsenal 2, Chelsea 1, as I said. I think that's the 3rd time I said that, but who's counting? And maybe it could have been different if Chelsea didn't. If Chelsea's discipline was a bit better and they kept 11 men on the pitch, but they didn't. We capitalised, and I nearly forgot that the only other chance that Chelsea had was offside, and it was clearly offside, where ball's been whipped in, it's been flicked on. Pedro's got to it, tried to do an overhead kick. Raya saved it. It's come out to William Delap. He's put it in the back of the net, but Pedro was offside, so it doesn't really matter. And from then, after that point, game's pretty much over, and we secured the 3 points. So yeah, that's 3 points in the bag. We roll on to Brighton next, and that's another game where we've just got to keep the momentum up. It's a tough ground to go to, and we've just got to go there to nick a win. And the more wins we get, hopefully that starts to breed some more confidence, and we can move forward. So yeah, I'm Bevan. This is the Armchair Pundits Arsenal review show. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Put in the comments how you saw the game. Tell me if you think they should have had a penalty or not. As I say, I'm Bevan, it's the Armchair Pundits, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you later.